Hey everyone, this is Crimson Blades. This video is a direct continuation of the first part of my map making process. I won't be talking as much in this video because it's a seriously long video for me to talk for a long amount of time. The important thing when creating a map is that you need to know how to use layers. Especially for PMV maps. I mean like freestyle or AMVs, they're like you don't have to worry as much, but PMVs, if you separate all of the different limbs, their hair bits, then you can actually make a pretty good PMV map without drawing anything at all. It all depends on how good you are at tweening. In a few moments I'll be demonstrating what I mean by separating the body parts. Okay, you can see here that I'm separating all of the frames, and now I'm adding a lot of layers. I'm naming all the layers of all the different body parts, and I'm making sure that um, I'm drawing on the layer that I need to draw on. You can name yours whatever you understand best. But for me, I separated the things into like, make sure when you're planning out the separation of body parts, you need to think about what overlaps what. You should try to have as much overlap as you can to create that 3D illusion. But you also need to make sure that the overlaps make sense. So like your hair should be in front of the collar, the neck should be behind the collar but in front of the back scarf. So that's why I made 3 layers for that part that I did not move at all later on in the video. For now, feel free to observe how I draw everything. You can see that I'm also drawing into parts where like you cannot see right now, but later when I'm moving the parts, you might see. It's always better to draw more than to draw less, because you might need it later on. Anyways, I did a very interest. I'm not really sure. It's like the Harumi eyelashes, but it's like more dark and grunge because that's more, you know. Okay, so you can see that I have all of my layers like stacked up, and I'm like coloring them slowly, and also like filling in some of the gaps because yeah, while you're drawing you might not want to draw everything at once because otherwise it'd be very confusing with a lot of different lines. You also want to make sure that you're using the layer properties to the best advantage. For the markings I use darken so that way I can move the markings across the face without disturbing the line art. I think that with this kind of editing, right, liners art makes better sense. And also remember to color stuff properly. Make sure that the shadows and everything are colored. I did not color the shadows underneath, so I'll be changing that later on in the video. Okay, so that's all. You may now proceed to enjoy the speed paint.
Tall boys, you drink to drown it out because it's all noise. Tall boy, you've got to call him out or he'll dissolve more. Someone please remind me not to call her Convoy. I think I might be following the wrong hearse. Oh, baby, you're shocking in the top, boy. Soulmates, it's like we're always lacing up the same shoes. Fourth date, if you don't think I'm crazy or insane too. Now let's give credit where it's due. I said I should probably go, then you hit me with the line. Well, I mean, you never know. Let's get this straight, I'm not a Smith. I don't have the greatest will. You know I hate to cave and fold, so I'm calling for the thrill. Oh, baby, you're shocking in the top, boy. Oh, baby, you're shocking in the top, boy. Oh, baby, you're shocking in the top, boy. I'm unstable, I'm a mess, are words that came to mind. I'm unable to regret the words that came to life. It's a game where we pretend I never crossed the line. He's a neighbor, she's a friend, a perfect compromise. This town is running with a sick crowd, running with a sick crowd, running with a sick crowd. This town is running with a sick crowd, running from a thick cloud, running with a sick crowd. This town is begging for a dismount from another big mouth, sick crowd. She's a victim, she's a threat, a tightrope Congo line. When you know that there's a net, you might just fall to fly. I'm addicted, I'm obsessed with making you complete. Nothing can hold me back except a lack of sleep. This town is running with a sick crowd, running with a sick crowd, running with a sick crowd. This town is running with a sick crowd, running from a thick cloud, running with a sick crowd. This town is begging for a dismount from another big mouth. I've been stuck in my ways, 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 Making puns like I got something to prove. Write a song like I think I'm gonna move you. I'm about to lose it, I'm about to lose it, and it's about to lose me too. Oh, it's about to lose me too. Cruise control set to mold me. Try to show me that I can change my own speed. I don't have control. I don't have your hold, but I hold on still. Not still, can't lay still. Guess I'm gonna have to smoke you out. Guess I'm gonna have to smoke you out. Hot eyes, cold stare, long neck, short hair. I'm about to lose you, I'm about to lose you, and she's about to lose me too. Guess I'm gonna have to smoke you out. Guess I'm gonna have to smoke you out.
Hey everyone, now that you've watched until the end of the speed paint section or you skipped to this part, it's time for us to finally get down to the business, and that business is animating. So yeah, Currently, I am just making sure that all of my backgrounds and stuff are okay, and now I'm starting to animate by moving of my objects. Because this, right, scene 3 is a 1.2 second long sequence, I need to like give it more space, so I couldn't just start with that. In the end, I actually didn't move it a lot or move it enough, but I think it still works okay. What I want to do here is to turn the head like slightly, so I'm moving the facial features, I'm moving the hair to simulate it transforming from a 3/4 view to a 2/4, like to a side view. I think the effect is better shown in the matte part. It's not really the best showing of the like this kind of effect, but if you watch like other MVs, you know, sometimes people just cut processes with the turning of a character by just moving like the hair, their face, um their head differently. You can see that happening in live 2D characters, like for example VTuber models, right? They like they use the same like they use the same logic, they use the same like application for how I did my face turning. This here, I don't think I turned the face too much. Actually, no, I think I turned it like all the time. But because this is only a 0.3 second scene, like there's not much you can do. Also, by the way, if you're using iMovie and you're exporting your frames, iMovie's frame set is 10 FPS max. Even if you set like each image to 0.1, to achieve 12 FPS it needs to be 0.06, but I think 0.01 is the minimum seconds that you have on iMovie. So to work around that, you can add more frames first. You put them in like another project, you export it, then you speed them up. So that's how you can get a higher frame count than just 10 FPS. But honestly, 10 FPS can work for a PMV map depending on how long your map part is. Now I'm like using more manipulation to make it seem that Mo here is like raising his hands up. And actually, I only did 3 frames because I thought it looked good. Because like it's the anticipation and like it connected better than having none of the connecting frames at all. So now I'm working on the big one being because it has 40 frames or 30 frames at least for me to manipulate. So I'm moving the face, moving the iris, you can see why I cut that out, moving each individual strand of hair, moving the belt, I moved the scarf, then I've moved the skirt, I've also moved the shorts, I think I also moved the fist, and you can see the effect. And I used blue screen because it wasn't exporting properly, it just wasn't transparent PNG. I have no idea why. Maybe I like exported too fast, but I couldn't be bothered to deal with that problem, so I just used the blue screen as the background because the background is the smoke effects. Also, I like added a filter to the smoke effect so it looked better, or at least it looked more green because the smoke looked very red. And since it's like an impactful scene, I wanted the colors to be just different. And now this is me, I'm trying to find a way to make it 180p, but sometimes you just can't make it 180p. So 720p is also okay for your map part. Some maps allow 720p, but some maps explicitly states that you cannot have 720p. You need it to be 180. Anyways, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed my map making process. Please do consider joining my map. It still has quite a few vacancies. And that's all. Have a great day, everyone.